Oh my gosh, is that a Pride and Prejudice shirt? Yes. I love it. I love it. Okay,
So
so Colleen, she can chat, correct?
yeah, so you just go on your chat and there's a little box in the bottom that says message, and I'll jump back and forth from chat, but we'd really just like to hear your questions
If you,
live.
yeah,
Yeah, if you
yeah,
have any, or
whatever
your
you want to,
response, whatever you want to do.
we're gonna
Now,
wait a few minutes.
we're going to wait a few minutes. So I think I want everybody to hear who Kristen is. So I was going to say we can do a little like introduction, but we'll introduce ourselves to you so at least you know who it is, because I realized our names are on our thumb drive. But I'm Colleen, and I deal mainly with the tech part of this, kind of. And Tamara is the one that has curated all the information, and it's her copyright, except for when it's spelled wrong. It's usually my fault. I'm just letting you know. Means I jumped the gun. And Kristen, we totally appreciate.
It's Kirsten. Is it Kirsten?
Is it Kirsten? Sorry, Kirsten. It is. It is
Okay.
Kirsten. Can you hear us well, Kirsten? Is that good? Okay, good. So whenever you get something wrong, it's usually my fault because I jumped the gun and get it out before Tamara's approved it. So just starting out with that.
I see Karina.
Okay, I will invite her in.
Do your spiel.
Okay, Karina, I am inviting you in. You have a microphone and a camcorder, a video camera that you can accept as you come in. You can either use your thumbnail or you can use a photo, or you can be live. But we just want to make sure that if you have comments, that the only way you can do it is as a speaker. So you have accepted the invitation. So that's exciting. Okay, and our screen grows. Our screen grows. Hi.
Yay! Yay! There she is. Hello. My favorite feedback.
Oh.
First of all, we just want to say we're just kind of introducing ourselves for a little bit. I'm Colleen, and I usually deal with the tech part of it, and usually all the errors are from me.com. Tamara does with the copyright, and she's curated all of our courses, and so together we make a good team. But I need to be a little more patient before I send stuff out. When she's like, wait, did you do this? Did you include this? I'm like, oh, we will resend it. But that's part of the beauty of a beta class, is that we get to work with you ladies and refine it. So when we actually put it out there, we appreciate the comments because you're helping us so much. Okay. I know we're going to post this live. I don't know how many people are joining. I think it's great that we have 3 already, but we'll get going in a minute. I think at 7:05, give everybody some grace to get in.
And Karina, are you by us? Are you in the Ho? Are you in Idaho?
I am in the Ho, yes.
Okay.
Where are you guys?
Meridian. Are you near
Oh,
us?
okay. I'm on the other side.
Okay.
I'm in Idaho Falls. My husband and I have a West Coast swing class on Thursday nights that starts right now. But it's just review for the first little bit, so I thought I'd at least get on for the first couple minutes.
Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you. And we'll record this. We will have this recorded and send it out. So, I mean, let's see, 7:05.
I think we can go ahead and start. If you want to mute yourself while we start, and then unmute if you have a comment, or I'll be watching the chat also. Like there's a comment in the chat. And we'll let Tamara take it away then.
Okay. I see Wendy too. Okay. You might have to tell her. Wendy, she's going to add you as a speaker, but don't worry. Maybe type in the chat, Colleen. Okay.
I will.
Well, I just want to start by saying once again, thank you for your patience. This tech is killing us and destroying us like by like a billion slivers, but we're going to persevere and get there. We're using Mighty for like emails and things, like drafts go out before they should be going and all of these different things. So I'm very sorry about that. There's I just want to thank you about your patience for that. And if there's login issues, which we have had, please tell us. You can email Colleen at cocomadre.com or me at cocomadre.com. That is great. The feedback that we're getting is wonderful. We love your proofreading eagle eyes, especially when you tell us if there's friction that you're experiencing in the app and in email links and all that. That's very helpful to us. As you're going through, I just want to start this with the feedback, and then I'll get into my little thought here, is just make note of content feedback. We're really interested in if this content is helpful to you, and I want you to, as you're going through, make note of things that are useful for you, things that are confusing that need a little more clarification, and things that seem kind of superfluous or extra that you don't think belong in this class. If they feel out of place, let us know. Also, we would like to know if you think the content was interesting, but not useful, because sometimes I can do that. I can find a lot of interesting things in this world, but maybe they're not as useful. So please tell us that if you feel like they need to be omitted or changed. And if you don't think they really fit into what we're talking about. Also, take note of the pacing of all of these things. Did you have enough time to complete your exercises? Did you feel like you were given too much time and there wasn't enough content given the amount of time that we have? All of those things are very useful to us. So that's the other thing. The fourth thing, take note of people that you think would benefit from this and tell us why that person would benefit. What kind of person are they? What kind of time of life are they in? Why do you think that they would benefit from this? That would be very helpful for us. And you know, if later the reason this is beta and a disaster is because of the tech and the new way we're trying to launch these things. At the end of this, is going to be beautiful and wonderful, but that's why it's free. So next time there will be a fee for it. So we're trying to make this as concise and useful and wonderful, but also deep and helpful as possible to all these people. So that is just for that feedback part of the night. But for the thought of today, just for a little inspiration to go on with your weekend, I just wanted to read you a poem from Michael Van Walligen. Michael Van Walligen was a professor at the University of Illinois and a poet laureate, and I love his pieces. This is one of my favorite poems because it speaks to the dance that we as women are in all the time between this constant friction and holding of two conflicting sides of simultaneously being content with what we have and trying to be content with what we have, but also wanting more. So this is like a tale as old as time, just like all of these things. And I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it maybe twice because once you need to kind of let it like wash over you, and the next time you might kind of recognize some themes a little bit easier. But I will warn you, there is a swear word in here, and I'm keeping it in for a couple of reasons. One, poet laureates and authors and artists choose their words very carefully. There's a reason he put this word in there. It behooves me to take it out and omit it. And so in respect for his work, I'm going to leave it in. Feedback you can give us is if you were offended by it. That's always helpful because I know some people that would be, and that's totally fine. But I would like to know if you think that was too much. But I will leave it in there. So you are warned. And as I read it, I want you to take note of the tension between that being content with what you have and wanting more, because that's what we're talking about in this hero's journey. You're going along in life, and sometimes you just hear this voice in your head where you think, should I heed that? Should I listen to that? And it's just, It's just always going to be there in our lives. So I'm going to read it. Please think of like some words or phrases that stick out to you. Okay, this is called Happiness by Michael Van Walligen. And the preface is from Robert Frost. Weep for the little things that could make them glad, is what he says. Okay. Melvin, the large collie who lives in the red house at the end of my daily run, is happy. Happy to see me, even now in February, a month of low skies and slowly melting snow. His yard has turned almost entirely to mud, but so what? Today, as if to please me, he has torn apart and scattered a yellow plastic bucket, the color of forsythia or daffodils. And now, in a transport of cross-eyed, muddy ecstasy, he has placed his filthy two front paws together on the top pipe of his sagging cyclone fence. Drooling a little, his tail wagging furiously until finally, as if I were God's angel himself, fulgent, blinding, aflame with news of the resurrection, I give him a biscuit instead. Which is fine with Melvin, who is wise by whole epochs of evolution beyond his years. Take what you can get, that's his motto. And really, apropos of bliss, happiness, and the true rapture, what saint could tell us half as much? Even as he drops back down into the cold dogshit muck he'll have to live in every day for weeks, or on end perhaps, unless it freezes. Whining now, dancing nervously as I turn away again to leave him there. The same today as yesterday. One of the truly wretched of this earth, whose happiness is almost more than I can bear. Okay, that is the crux of the poem. So this man is on a daily run. At the end of his daily run, he sees large collie Melvin, who lives at the end of it in this pretty dilapidated place. Owners don't really care for him very much. Mud everywhere. He is gloriously happy to see this man every single day. And he is, the man thinks, here I come. He thinks I'm like an angel. And I give him a biscuit instead of this, saving him from his situation. And as he leaves, the dog is sad. Again, the same today as every day. Which I don't know of a phrase that describes a life by default better than the same today as every day. So let me read it one more time, okay? And then if you feel so inclined, type in or say what lines stick out to you, okay? Weep for the little things that make them glad. That's Robert Frost. Okay. Melvin, the large collie who lives in the red house at the end of my daily run, is happy. Happy to see me, even now in February, a month of low skies and slowly melting snow. His yard has turned almost entirely to mud, but who cares? But so what? But so what? Today, as if to please me, he has torn apart and scattered everywhere a yellow plastic bucket, the color of forsythia or daffodils. And now, in a transport of cross-eyed, muddy ecstasy, he has placed his filthy two front paws together on the top pipe of his sagging cyclone fence. Drooling a little, his tail wagging furiously, until finally, as if I were God's angel himself, fulgent, blinding, aflame, with news of the resurrection, and I give him a biscuit instead. Which is fine with Melvin, who is wise by whole epochs of evolution beyond his years. Take what you can get, that's his motto. And really, apropos of bliss, happiness, and the true rapture, what saint could tell us half as much? Even as he drops back down into the cold dogshit muck he'll have to live in every day for weeks on end, perhaps, unless it freezes. Whining now, dancing nervously as I turn away, again to leave him there. The same today as yesterday. One of the truly wretched of this earth, whose happiness is almost more than I can bear. I love this poem, and I have mostly memorized it, and for some reason, in the mornings, or if I can't sleep at night, I'll say it over and over in my head. I find it to be very useful in what we have just been talking about this week in the hero's journey, particularly as it relates to people who have decided to go into the unknown world by choice because they feel this little discomfort and discontent in their life. And I mean, what I love about this is that that large collie at the end of the street of his daily run that lives in the big red house does not know that he's unhappy at first glance. But by the end of the piece, when he's disappointed and panicked again, which he always is, the same today as yesterday, I think he can sense that there's a little more, something else to life that he could have. And maybe it's something calling him into the unknown, or maybe he could just tell that there's something off, but there's something that he knows when this man comes, that there's something more. But every day that man runs, and every day that dog is happy and then disappointed. And every day that dog does what he can do to be content, shredding plastic buckets the color of forsythia and daffodils and offering it to whoever can come his way. And the man knows that there are better dog owners. The man has seen the outside world. He knows that there are owners that take their dogs on, rides as they're with their horse, so the dog's running along. He knows that there are dog owners that take them on, 10-mile jogs. He knows that there's something that this dog has no concept is available to him, and that's why his happiness is almost too much for him to bear. If you are familiar with the tenets of Buddhism, you know that the first tenet of Buddhism is that all life is suffering. And the second tenet of Buddhism is that suffering comes from being attached to something. And that attachment can be to a certain outcome or a certain happiness or something that you want. If you are so attached to, I really want to live in this state in this house, with this man, whatever, very attached to that, and you don't get that, you suffer. And that's what that second tenet of Buddhism is. That suffering comes from attaching yourself to this idea that you have of what your life should be or could be and is not. So Melvin is smart. That's why the man says, Melvin is wise beyond his years. Like, no saint could teach us half as much. It's fine. Take what you can get. That makes him happy. That makes him content. But then there's this pull to wanting something more. And that kind of call into the journey. And I know that this is a universal human condition, but especially with women, especially with mothers who have taken care of children for decades, who then, when they have an empty nest and maybe have some time to do something for themselves, start taking care of aging parents. And maybe they're in a okay marriage that doesn't seem terrible, but they know that there's something more. And they have this pull, like, I know I am grateful. I know I have gifts that I should be very grateful for that other people do not have on this earth. I know I have been blessed abundantly, but I know I can squeeze a little more juice out of this lemon and out of this life. So we're here to say that it is okay to embark on this hero's journey to find the gifts and the skills that you can offer the world, even if your life is good, and even if you feel content and happy as Melvin. It's okay to want a little more, even if after all those years of, especially it's okay, because especially you have been giving yourself to caretaking of others. You have dealt with very non-ideal circumstances or relationships, managing of chronic illnesses in some cases, dealing with death, dealing with horrible coworkers, dealing with a horrible spouse. And even if you have chosen the world that the life that you have lived in and you love it, it's okay. I mean, if you think back to Elsa Frozen 2 and she hears that voice, she's like, I can hear you, but I won't. That's okay if you have been pushing that away for a while, and now is the time to lean into it. Because forging an identity, as we've talked about, is a serious business. So staying as Melvin staying as Melvin, who is content and happy, is a viable option. because that's comfortable and that's what we know. And it takes some work, and it takes some chutzpah, and it takes some very careful noticing and paying attention to things in your life, and that can be uncomfortable. But I think that we were made for great things. And I know as we've talked about the hero's journey, and Joseph Campbell talking about getting the elixir to bring back to the rest of us, that's what we need and that's what we want. So I don't know, I'm throwing this out there, if we had a couple more people, maybe this could turn into a little slightly better discussion. I know a lot of people, this is a horrible time for them. Also take note of that in the feedback. But maybe the answer for this, dealing with this conflict of contentment versus wanting more, is just one of timing. I don't know. I've thought about this a long time, because you will be miserable if you're always discontent. I mean, and maybe there's a time and a place for you to be playing with your plastic bucket. But maybe there's other times where it's time to stretch and pursue. Maybe it's timing, but maybe there's a way to balance them both. And I know that takes a little dance, which I think is great that she was going to dance class. That's exactly what we're doing here, metaphorically. So maybe you just don't know what skills that you have to lean into that larger life. So next week, we will be exploring deeply your gifts, your traits, and your personality, things that make you you. This is a very a favorite part of our starter kit for our women. They learn a lot about themselves. It's enjoyable. It's very kind of, it makes them ponder and think, and it's very enlightening to them. Some of the exercises will be familiar to you. Maybe you've done them before in other classes, or just you've come across them on social media. But a lot of them are new and fresh, and I hope will help you think of yourself in new ways. And it really is a favorite portion of our class. There is one particular exercise that is makes everyone across the board feel loved and understood, and will elicit responses from your real comadres, your ride or dies that are in your life right now, that will tell you things that they have never told you before, and that you would never think to ask them, because you wouldn't be so bold to be emboldened to ask them these things. And so it's wonderful to blame a class that you're taking that you need these questions to be answered. I did it for a business class of mine, and it was so wonderful to read the responses, because I first of all didn't know that most of the people thought these things, and I could see patterns very easily. So this is an assignment I think you're going to really like. And the thing about next week is those assignments are enjoyable, but they can be time consuming. So if at the end of next week on Friday, you need a little more time to work on them, and we need some catch-up days, please tell us. We can do catch-up days on the following Monday and Tuesday, so you can finish those up and maybe get those responses back from some people. And you know, this is the one part that's very dense in terms of just like trying to dig into some material. So let us know if the timing and pacing is not right on that. We don't want to keep you very long. This is supposed to be a short meeting. So I just want to thank you again for your willingness to do this, and for your patience. I mean, I cannot express how grateful I am to have this feedback and to have people actually digging into this and helping us smooth out these kinks, because it really will be helpful. We've had some rough spots. That's why it's free, and that's why it's a beta, and that's why you guys are all going to get crowns in heaven. It's amazing. The workbook will be ready to go, and new classes will be ready to go on Monday. We might put it on there Sunday night, but they will go live on Mighty Networks on Monday. The workbook will be you can have the print form or the PDF. And that will be Monday. But I wanted, before I have Colleen talk to you about the saving of the PDFs. I know we sent you an email, but I just want to say it one more time.
So if anybody's having any problems, you can always contact us, first of all. And I think you have both of our emails and then my phone number, and I don't mind walking you through. I know both personal computers and then Macs, so we can figure it out. It's a little bit different, each one, but what you want to do is when you get it on Sunday or Monday, whenever you get to it, just upload the whole PDF. We'll have it marked down on Mighty 2 different ways. One way we'll have it by day if you prefer that, or we prefer that you just download the whole thing at once. That way it's saved to your computer. It's in a file. You name it what you are comfortable naming it. And then you can work there. That way you will never lose anything. If you continue to just fill it out on Mighty Networks every time you leave, you will lose what you work so hard on. So we want to make sure it saves to your computer. Secondly, at the end of the course, we will have a complete PDF file and that you can print out for yourself and either copy and paste it back in there, or because it is beneficial to print it out at the end as a finished bound book, because this is your journey, this is your story, and it's something we want you to be able to go back to and to see your growth. You're going to see amazing things, and a lot of that's going to be your journaling. So write as much as you can, as much as you want to, save it so you don't lose it, and call us if you have any problems.
Okay, thank you. All right, wanted to keep this to 30 minutes, and I think we did it. Did we do it? Yeah, we're 3 minutes early.
We did it.
I mean, maybe we're doing some things right. The other thing that we will be sending you every Friday or Saturday will be a survey about the feedback for the content of the week. It is just a form that you can tick off and also type in some places. Please fill that out. It's very, very helpful. You will not hurt our feelings. If you think this whole thing is dumb and boring and not helpful, please let me know, and I will dig a hole and jump in it. But no, I will not, it won't hurt my feelings. I do need that information. So look for the survey, look for the classes on Sunday night or Monday, probably Monday, just to keep it consistent, and just keep plugging away. And thank you again so much for your patience. Okay, that's it. Everyone can go. I'll miss you all.
And this will be recorded if you know anybody, like any of your friends that have joined, which we are so grateful for those that you're plugging us away to your friends. This will be on the live section in Mighty Networks. So thank you.
Okay, thanks guys.